Octopath Traveler 0 doesn't just hand you a story to follow, it hands you your story. You create your own hero, rebuild your own town, and shape your own path forward across a world filled with beauty, loss, and discovery. From the moment the book opens and you choose who you want to become, this adventure feels personal in a way that we haven't seen from the HD 2D series before. This is a hands-on review of Octopath Traveler 0 on the Nintendo Switch 2, and after diving deep into its world, tackling battles, exploring dungeons, rebuilding my hometown, and getting completely lost in this incredible HD 2D presentation, I've got a strong understanding of what this game brings to the table. No spoilers, just an honest, in-depth look at how it plays, how it feels, and whether it deserves a spot in your library. Now, before we dive in, I want to give a huge thank you to Square Enix for providing early review access to Octopath Traveler 0 so I could bring this video review to you. So without further ado, let's jump in. Let's slice into the story and presentation like a boosted critical. Octopath Traveler 0 begins in the peaceful town of Wishvale, a place tied to the sacred flame that protects the land. Early on, the game lets you craft your own hero from scratch. I decided to go full Silver Fox since naturally that's the era I'm transitioning into in real life, and I even named my favorite dish the Castlevania chicken because if a mysterious wall chicken can't keep you alive, nothing can. You also choose your starting skill and a few personal belongings which help shape your early playstyle. During the enkindling ceremony, the Scarlet Wings attack, ignite the town, and take the lives of people close to you. When the flames subside, Wishvale is gone, and the game becomes a story of both revenge and rebuilding. From here, the world opens and you choose which influence to pursue first: wealth, power, or fame. Your choice determines your starting route, but nothing is locked away. You can experience all three paths at your own pace. Visually, this is HD 2D at its absolute finest. Running on Switch 2, the water effects from calm ripples to powerful waterfalls look absolutely stunning, and again, you guys know how much I love water graphics. Snowfall feels alive, looks like the snow is touching the actual screen. The new lighting engine makes lanterns in caves, sunset backdrops, and glowing spell effects all pop beautifully. It genuinely feels like a handcrafted diorama come to life. Both English and Japanese voice acting are excellent so far, and the soundtrack by Yasunori Nishiki continues to stand out. The music ranges from peaceful town themes to emotional nighttime tracks to intense boss themes that elevate every encounter. Presentation-wise, this might be the most polished Octopath yet. Now let's talk about what you'll actually be doing when you're not staring at the beautiful scenery. Moment-to-moment gameplay combines exploring towns, talking to NPCs, taking on quests, diving into dungeons and caves, and battling enemies using the classic break and boost combat system. If you've played the previous Octopath games, the basics will feel familiar. Every enemy has weaknesses and a shield value. Hit their weak points to break their shield, stun them, and open them up to heavy damage. You also build up boost points each turn, which you can spend to hit harder, attack multiple times, or supercharge your abilities. It creates a rhythm of setting up your breaks and unleashing big moments, and it feels just as good here as it always has. The biggest change is the introduction of 8 character parties with a front row and back row. 4 characters fight in the front, while 4 recover boost points and HP or SP in the back. Each turn you decide which row you're controlling, and swapping characters strategically becomes absolutely essential. Breaking a boss with your front row and then having a fully boosted back row ready to roll feels incredibly satisfying. You also unlock ultimate techniques, powerful abilities fueled by a separate gauge that fills during battle. These moves can completely turn the tide if used at the right moment. Outside of combat, path actions return and feel deeper than before. You can inquire for information, buy items, entreat NPCs for gear, or battle them to win rewards, which is a lot of fun. The new invite action lets you recruit townspeople and bring them back to Wishvale to help rebuild. Some residents bring materials over time, some help in battle, and others unlock new features. It adds personality to exploration and gives each town a sense of purpose, and almost reminds me of Suikoden 1 and 2, where you're always recruiting new people to join the cause, and that's one thing I loved about the Suikoden series. One feature I really like is the journal. It lets you replay major story scenes anytime, making it easy to step away from the game and return without losing track of the narrative. And for a game this size, I think that's a huge quality of life addition that I'd love to see other RPGs implement. Overall, the gameplay is strategic, smooth, and consistently rewarding without ever feeling overwhelming. Alright Stash fam, before we go any further, let's talk about the different platforms, because everyone plays differently and this series has always been great about meeting you where you are. And Octopath Traveler 0 is available on just about every major platform, and just like with anything, you've got to know what's most important to you. If you want absolute peak performance, then PS5 and Xbox Series X are the powerhouses here, offering up to 4K resolution and 120 frames per second. PC can also hit those same performance targets depending on your hardware. But if the ability to play on the go matters more to you, or if you like having that hybrid option, then the Nintendo Switch lineup is where the game really shines. Everything you're seeing in today's review is captured on Nintendo Switch 2, and that version runs at 1080p 60 FPS, which feels smooth, sharp, and very clean for an HD 2D RPG. The lighting, particle effects, the snowfall, the water, they all look beautiful at 60 FPS, and the combat feels extremely responsive. Now, the original Switch version tops out at 720 30 FPS, just like Octopath Traveler 1 and 2, so the Switch 2 upgrade is a major improvement in clarity and motion. And while PS5 and Xbox can push higher frame rates, the Switch 2 version gives you that great balance of good performance and full portability, which is a huge perk for a game you can easily spend dozens, if not hundreds of hours in. At the end of the day, PS5 gives you the top-end performance, but Switch 2 gives you a smooth and beautiful 60 FPS experience anywhere you want to play, so the choice is yours. Let's shift gears from graphics to gameplay pacing before I start grinding JP in real life. The pacing in Octopath Traveler 0 is steady and well balanced. The opening hours introduce mechanics naturally, letting you settle into the world before the main conflict pulls you forward. Early battles are straightforward, but the game expects you to learn weaknesses, manage your boost points, and think strategically, which is something that I love. Even the first boss in the cave gave me a challenge, and that level of engagement continues throughout the early hours into the main game. Because quests are clearly marked and the journal keeps everything organized, the game works well for both short sessions and long ones. So whether you have 20 minutes or a couple of hours, the pacing feels comfortable and rewarding. Now, let's talk about how much adventure you're actually getting into. This game is dense with content. You have your core main story centered around rebuilding Wishvale and chasing down the Scarlet Wings, but that's only the beginning. There are more than 30 characters to recruit, each bringing new skills and strategies. The 3 story paths, wealth, power, and fame, add replay value and variety, and you can tackle them in any order you want. Town building is one of the game's standout features. Clearing rubble, collecting materials, placing buildings, and bringing residents back to Wishvale creates a sense of ownership and emotional investment. It's deep enough to matter, but not so complex that it becomes a chore to do. Each new building or resident feels like progress, and watching the town slowly come back to life after what happened early on is genuinely satisfying. Let's talk about how fun this really is, and I am loving my time with this game. The combat feels great, the exploration is satisfying, satisfying, and the constant rewards, whether it's bonus XP, new companions, new buildings, or new ultimate techniques, keeps you motivated. The ability to shape your character, your party, and your hometown gives the adventure a very personal feel, and the variety of systems adds a lot of depth without losing the series' charm. Because you can replay different story paths, try new builds, build Wishvale differently, and recruit different characters, the replay value here is actually really good. Zooming out now, what does all of this mean for the Octopath series? Octopath Traveler 0 feels like a major step forward for the franchise. It blends the best ideas from the first two games with the expanded concepts from the champions of the continent. By centering the story on your custom hero and tying it to a rebuildable hometown, it creates a more personal, emotional core than past entries. If this is the direction Square Enix chooses to pursue moving forward, mixing strategic combat, HD 2D visuals, character creation, and base building, this game may end up being a key turning point in how future Octopaths are shaped. Alright friends, now it's time for my final thoughts. Octopath Traveler 0 on the Switch 2 delivers a heartfelt story, beautiful HD 2D visuals, fast and satisfying combat, a refreshing town building system, and a massive amount of content to sink into. Between its performance, its personal touch, its depth, this is an easy, thunderstruck recommendation from me, whether you're new to the series or already a fan. Now, I want to hear from you. Which path would you pick first? Wealth, power, or fame? And if you enjoyed this review, please hit the like button, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and join the Stash fam. And don't forget to check out the Nintenbyte Podcast that I co-host with Nintendo Prime, Gamebird Classic, and Eric Moore. We dive into all things Nintendo every week, talking about news, rumors, predictions, Nintendo Directs, you name it. And we have new and reoccurring guests every week. You can catch us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Time. And as always, remember, you're never too old to play video games.